It gave me what I expected. Maybe I liked that part.
Hi, welcome to the Underhold. We're going to do an actual just conversation. This is a review, but it's also a discussion. And the working idea at the moment, we'll see where this goes, is kind of Silent Bob Reboot and kind of how it relates to the series as a whole when it comes to the
Smodcast verse.
Smodcast and View is it
the View Askew verse? But
View
it's I guess they're both interchangeable depending on how you say it. Like, I want to say it's what did I say first? Smodcast.
Smodcast.
That's kind of what they do all now. It's like all of his Hollywood Like, I'm a big Kevin Smith fan, but at the same time, I do see some of the problems people have with Kevin Smith. And I think that I just identified with him so much growing up because age-wise, we had like our kids at the same time. I wanted to make movies at the same time that he was making movies, so it was like I kind of latched onto that idea.
Yeah.
Like with Clerks, I really liked the writing in that.
And we're of the generation that some people did latch onto that.
Yeah.
Or Tarantino.
Yeah, like to me that was what it was.
It's weird when you think about it nowadays of like Smith and Tarantino, but there's a lot of people grabbing onto those same things actually.
To me that is a great answer because I felt like I grabbed onto both of those at the same time as opposite ends of the same coin.
Yeah.
You had this wild dialogue that was like a little bit long, but it was creative. Cast of characters that were all very unique and fleshed out, and then goofiness and ultraviolentness.
Yeah.
So there was that little flip side. You know, it's like being stoned, I guess. Which becomes into so much play later.
Yeah. And then the Kevin Smith stuff became more inside baseball over time, more stuff having to do with previous pieces of art beforehand.
Mm-hmm. A lot of callback stuff.
Yeah, a lot of callback stuff.
I mean, especially if you want to think about just the Jay and Silent Bob parts,
Yeah.
because I mean, other films out of that, because I would say Tusk and another one exist in this world.
Oh, okay.
Because when he goes to the, there's another movie and I can't remember, but you know Johnny Depp's kid and Harley Quinn are these clerks at like a 7-Eleven or something. Like
Yoga hosers.
So, but there's another movie that they're in too as just
is that the one where Justin Long is a lawyer? Because I think his character was from another movie too, which might not even be a character from a Kevin Smith film.
Because I want to say maybe it was Clerks too that they're like just at a clerk station and they're like kind of shitty, right? I could be wrong on that. Tell us in the comments below how fucking wrong I am. How big Kevin Smith fan I am when I get all this crap wrong. But it's like, so I felt Tusk wasn't part of that world, but it kind of was adding some menace to it a little. It was still goofy as hell.
Yeah.
And I loved Tusk. I thought it was so. The Tusk monster still gives me nightmares. It was well done.
Walrus, no.
Yeah. and dude swimming with the fucking pool that he made. Like,
that was actually, I thought that was the weakest part of the movie.
Really? I thought it was like.
I think it was budget at the end.
Yeah, sometimes choices get made for budget, but it just to me it felt like, okay, I've seen a serial killer documentary where this guy used to take baths with a deer that he would kill.
I thought it would have been better if they would have had a bigger budget like freak show thing entrance, but it's just like some dude's backyard, pay $10 to watch him in a pool, a kiddie pool or something.
And a friend comes to see him, and his buddy has to do it. He's like, is he saying kill me? Because that's all I can think. Just kill him right now.
But the general premise of it is
the reboot.
Yeah, the reboot. So they're still just the same Jay and Silent Bob, but now they're 40-ish.
Yeah, so you kind of like,
almost 50s.
How have they grown? And they haven't.
They haven't. Yeah.
And that's, on one hand, as a fan, that's fun, because that's what you want when you go in expecting it. But fans from that time, if you're a big fan, you are also 40.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, I got my own kids, and I'm like, oh, these dudes are going to get their shit together, you know?
Yeah. And so the plot setup's kind of, they lose the rights to their own name because a new movie's being made.
Mm-hmm.
They accidentally sign away the rights in order to get out of some legal trouble, which leads to a road trip. So that's where you get the multi-entendre name of the movie, because Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back is a road trip movie.
Yeah.
Dogma's a road trip movie a little bit.
And Strike Back, even, I mean, these films have the same concept.
Yeah.
I mean, Strike Back, they're like, we're not going to you can't make a movie about our characters.
Yeah.
And this one's like, you can't make a reboot movie about our characters.
Yeah.
They don't even care that they're not getting paid. They just say, you can't make this movie about us.
And so then also a lot of movies, when they are remade or pseudo sequels, are soft reboots where it's supposed to be in the same universe, but then when you analyze everything, you're like, no, you really just remade the same movie.
Yeah, it's like, I wouldn't say shot for shot, but it's almost scene for scene.
Yeah.
It's like, go to the mall, go to this part, go to the restaurant. It's like everything was kind of paced the same.
There's a lot of meta commentary. Yeah. I guess it's not too deep of commentary, but just
it's
meta that Hollywood can't
blatant.
Yeah.
Like the whole reboot remake thing becomes like a kind of an argument in the movie. You got the comic book guy Brody. What's fucking last name? Brody Beaver or something like that.
So was Brody
Bruce?
Was Brody the first stop?
I think so. He's who tells them about the reboot.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, we got fucking these lawyers stole our name. Like, this is why they're stealing your name. And it's got the reboot
and Brody
coming out.
was mainly from...
Only from Mallrats.
Only from Mallrats.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Jason
he wasn't in Chasing Amy.
Yeah, that's a whole different character.
Okay.
And so Brody, who's like the big comic book guy, the big Mallrat guy, he's there, I think, just to do a couple of quick social commentary things on... let's tell the audience the exposition, so now the audience knows the setup of the movie. Let's give a little bit of nerd cred to reboot versus remake.
Yeah.
So what's the difference in there? And then a little jab into the Marvel movies about how, like, nerds like him, they're like, this is the only thing they live for, these Marvel movies, right? And it's also there to kind of play on the dying mall. It's like the mall is dying, this kind of culture's dying.
The reason why a
comic
book store could even exist in the mall is because it's cheap real estate now.
Yeah, I mean, that's why there's a Warhammer store, fucking Lloyd Center now. I went in there, I'm like, what? Warhammer shit?
You got a Warhammer at my Eastport Plaza.
That's an actual one.
Yeah.
All right, rephrase. The one at the mall is just like some dude's card shop. It's like I went in there and what the fuck? I could rob this place blind. Thought about it too, but legal troubles.
And then was the second stop his ex-girlfriend from Silent Bob Reboot? Part of the girls team?
Yeah, see, in the
Elizabeth Hurley? Was it? Let's see here. It's Shannon Elizabeth.
Boo Boo Kitty Fuck.
Yes, exactly.
One of the cooler names of any character in a movie. Yeah, they end up stopping there. I don't know why they didn't go. Oh, they're just in Chicago and they found out she's like the weather girl, right?
Yeah.
Is it Chicago?
Oh, they had the cab scene. The cab stuff with
Armisen?
The KKK nuggets thing or whatever it was.
I thought that could have been so much better.
That was a good gag. Now
I went longer.
I'm just gonna say right now, I'm not the biggest fan of this film. That gag I thought was solid.
Because it kept coming up with later the
because they had this Uber driver, cab driver,
who doesn't like all white chicken meat, right?
None
of that dark meat.
He creates like a chicken nugget thing for the trend. He hit the trend right. He guessed that chicken nuggets were going to be viral, because with memes and kids thinking it's funny to just talk about them. I mean, but then his name implied racism, and he didn't realize it, so it got popular with the KKK, and it just ruined his life.
It seemed like that would be a Portland restaurant.
I didn't understand. I don't remember the name of the nuggets, but
me either. But KKK nuggets definitely. And I thought Armisen's character was funny. And I don't genuinely tend to like Fred Armisen and stuff because I've seen too much of him.
Yeah,
and it's not just because
there's only so much shtick that some people can do, and we've just seen a lot of his shtick.
Yeah, it's like whenever they need a character that's multiracial, they bring in this white dude to do it. And that's not me being all socially conscious. It's just I'm like, all right, Fred Armisen, how much different face paint can you color your face before we call it out for what it is? One of his first
characters, I think, was supposed to be like a Mexican drummer, right?
Well, fun fact, Fred Armisen was from the Blue Man Group.
Oh, okay.
So he's used to putting blue shit on, or paint on his face all the time, being different colors. He used to do that in the summer, I think, with the fucking dude from The Tick.
Oh, yeah, I was like, there was another reference to there. Yeah, okay.
When I found out Safinowicz, or whatever.
Peter Safinovich?
Yeah, Safinovich, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Son of a bitch! That guy. Man, Blue Man Group. If you've been in the Blue Man Group, please post down below. But I feel like that could have went more. Like there should have been a third callback on him just for joke structure instead of just the second callback when he's like, "I'm gonna get you," and then
But then when we do get to Shannon Elizabeth, I think even though it's early, you do end up with these moments of every scene having. Because there's even stuff with Justin Long's, like in this early courtroom scene.
Yeah, every scene leads to the next scene.
it leads to the next scene, but then it's like that previous scene, the character who's like this bigger guest star is in the one scene, and then he's no longer in the rest of the movie.
Yeah, this is a
And then it goes to the next scene, and then it does that same thing where this is the new guest star for this moment, and done. So, you know, it's definitely, we got the star in for one day. Shannon Elizabeth.
No, I mean Shannon Elizabeth, but she ends up having the lesbian girlfriend in the movie.
Yes.
Is she another big actress, or was...
I don't remember. I'll see if it says right
Part
here.
of me wanted to say Rosario Dawson, but I don't think that was her.
Oh, it was the woman who just came out, and she's in Zombieland 2. Married to Given Millennium, Harley Quinn Smith, Trishelle Edman. This will be a part where we can.
So some gay chick. She came out. She's big and she was in Zombieland, but
she's an older or an actress who's been around for a couple decades now. I want to say.
Okay.
Oh well.
Important enough to be in the description, of course. You know, get your shit together. Who's your PR person?
And, it doesn't say it on the Wikipedia.
Yeah, Wikipedia could give a fuck who you are. So yeah, they go to her, and it's basically just to set up the premise that, oh, Jay, you have a kid from when we fucked.
Yeah.
Which to me, I'm not a big fan of. One time is you get a baby after the one time. That feels like old abstinence propaganda. Even though I know it's perfectly true. If you bang one dude one time and you get pregnant, that's a trip to the abortion clinic. That is not just your right; it's your responsibility. You know, especially if that guy's Jay. Like, who's your father? Probably someone. You're gonna have brain damage. You gotta get this kid in the woods, you know, as soon as possible. Feed her to wolves. But you find out that his daughter, played by Kevin Smith's own daughter, Harley Quinn Smith, who, that's another reason I felt connected a little bit. Not just because I liked the Joker, I like Harley Quinn, like they did the animated series version. My daughter was born roughly the same time.
Yeah, and so, there's some good jokes there having to do with the fact that everybody who's watching this film, for the most part, is going to know that that's Silent Bob's daughter, or the character who plays Silent Bob.
Point. Yeah,
and so there's always like, she'll have a line like, I hate Kevin Smith.
I fucking hate Kevin Smith.
He's the director of the Silent Bob reboot film.
Yeah, Kevin Smith.
I want to say there was a joke too about somebody else having a daughter. Oh, did they say Kevin Smith had a daughter with a different name, but it was just as ridiculous as naming somebody?
No, I think it was still his daughter, and he's still like, oh, I put Harley in here somewhere. Like, it's just a throwaway comment.
I feel like there was somebody else that had a name, like somebody's like, I named my daughter this, and it was a ridiculous name. And it was
I wonder if it's Affleck's or
yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, because what's that fucking guy's name? I'd love to remember all their fucking names, their character names. But yeah, so that we get from going from the girlfriend, now we have the premise set up. Jay has a secret daughter. Yeah. Well, his daughter, character-wise, actually plays out a little bit like him, in my opinion. Like, I got this crazy plan, and we're going to get to Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
Because we're going to get inside the movie. And you're like, so they want to get in the movie because their Asian friend, that's like a exchange student, is like really into Jay and Silent Bob. It's like her favorite thing. Is Blunt Man of Chronic.
Yeah. So it's like Harley Quinn Smith's character, Justice. Is it Justice?
Yeah, she has a weird. Yeah, I think that's what it is. She has a weird name.
Yeah, she has a weird name. So like her and her friend are trying to get their other friend to Hollywood to
be in the movie. Or no, it's they got to go to Chronic Con.
Yeah.
And anybody who gets to Chronic Con gets to be in the movie.
Which is another meta joke that if you actually were able to go to Comic-Con and end up in the Kevin Smith talk, you could have ended up in the movie too.
Yeah. So there's definitely a crap load of inside baseball jokes.
It's all inside. This whole movie's almost all inside baseball.
And I do feel like we'll get to that at the end when we wrap it up, but I think there's a really obvious reason for that, not just because that's his only crutch at writing. I mean, looking at Tusk and Red State, there's a lot more going on in this cat's brain. Dogma especially. The Dogma joke, I fucking loved. So
Which
if you didn't like that
There was a couple.
Oh yeah, Alanis Morissette looks like Matt Damon going, I just woke up in the fucking water. I had no idea who I was. I was like, it's Jason Bourne. That joke was so funny to me. I was like, and Matt Damon's a great actor, so he just plays it so good.
But what sucked is just the idea of he's just in front of the camera. He
it's
didn't even interact with any of the other characters.
Little spot. They probably filmed it in one day. Like, please.
It probably wasn't even Kevin Smith behind the cameras. It's like, here's a script. Get somebody to operate the camera.
Probably
send us the footage.
Yeah. I mean, him and Ben Affleck finally got another movie coming out that they co-wrote together. And they don't look at all like Ben Affleck's blonde and bearded, and Fucking Matt Damon looks like Leo from The Revenant. So it's gonna be sick. They're all like 12th century knights. What the fuck? Anyway, a little divert. So yeah, as they continue on to go to Hollywood now, they got to get a van, and I think what they do is Harley Quinn is like, she pretends to lure pedophiles in so that she could rob them.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool but gross.
But then by the time they end up with having their own van, you're like, oh, this is a gag having to do with the original Silent Bob having the van with the 3 kick butt girls that were helping.
Well, yeah, because those kick butt girls they don't help in the original. They're like heels to them. They get called in or something to go after them.
But now this time the girls are more diverse, which they do joke about the fact that Kevin Smith in his early films didn't have good diversity.
I mean, he's from New Jersey. I mean, it's not like he didn't want to hire a black person. You just couldn't find one. You know, it's not his fault. You live in the Garden State, not in the Crips hood or whatever. Sorry, just being gay. But they get. I mean, they make jokes about how all the cast is super diverse in that. Which, I don't know if it plays the way he wants it to. It almost comes off as a shitty, like, wait, diversity for diversity's sake, stupid. I'm like, not really.
I don't think he was hating on it so much, but it just didn't land great.
Yeah, I didn't think it landed right.
And that's where I felt happened a bit.
And it started making me suspect of the characters, which is not good for how the movie results.
Yeah, because you don't want to put suspicion on a character if there's no point to it.
Yeah, like the Asian girl's just always whispering into her recorder or something, and you're like, and Jay's like, you're not one of them like latex weird super spies or some shit, right? And that's a callback to the original where Kevin Smith put his wife in this latex hot suit along with like Eliza Dushku before the accident. You know.
Now that's also led, I think around this time. Oh, we missed the part of movies.
Oh, movies. Yeah, we gotta throw that in because I hear Clerks 3 is even coming out.
Yeah, well, I don't even know if I've watched all of Clerks 2. I know I don't remember
Clerks
much
2 I
about
like,
Clerks
but
2.
it almost has the same story now that I'm thinking about it because I didn't connect it at that time. But Clerks 2 is literally about forbidden office romance that is resulting in a pregnancy, and now you guys they got to step up to be dad and mom.
Oh, okay.
So it almost has this same storyline, and maybe that's a Kevin Smith thing in his heart where he's like, are you ever going to actually be a dad? You know, it's one thing to be rich because definitely kids grow up fast, but
and mainly that scene mainly led to a gag of I think another actress that I think was probably in Clerks 2, the one from the Garfunkel show or something.
That's where I thought Rosario
Dawson.
That's why was she the wife?
Yeah.
See, weird.
But in movies,
I thought she got with Dante in the movie. Who knows? Who cares? We'll find out in Clerks 3 coming sometime to a fucking Amazon streaming service near you.
But the movies thing just led to a gag, basically, between Kevin Smith and his wife. You know, and going, you know, the wink wink, these people are actually married.
Yeah, and you know, like, I get when 20 years ago he talked about his wife being hot. I don't mean to constantly be this guy, just always body shaming, right? Well, shout out to the SEA.
What's your Twitter?
Yeah, I have my fucking Facebook, man. It's gross and covered with poop emojis. You know, because life is shit. But yeah, she's like got that like old mom face, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Just like you see it, like that I've been through the shit and back face, like that little girl on the show today. That was rough. But
and then pretty much,
so that's a gag, and there's just so many little. It's the attack of the cameos. Every scene is here's the next cameo.
Which
here's the next cameo.
Goes into the next cameo, which would be Ben Affleck, I think.
Yeah, and I personally, coming back to that identifying, I identify with Ben Affleck a whole bunch. Why? I'm a drunk, you know, or a recovering alcoholic. A better way to say it. I don't drink. But I definitely know the pain of having your family dissolve.
Well, there's the thing
alcohol.
of you can have a drinking problem. You're always an alcoholic, technically. Yeah.
And so, but I just liked him from back in the day. I can't even remember what first movie I probably liked. Probably Mallrats.
Probably Mallrats, yeah.
You know, and I'm like, yeah, he's going to put it in the back of an automobile.
Or the back of a Volkswagen. Yeah, that was a really good gag.
And that should have came up.
Yeah.
Ugh. You missed a move right there, Kevin Smith.
Unless we forgot. But I don't think they did. But he was doing a podcast, right? That was kind of like their little thing on like all of Kevin Smith's friends doing podcasts.
Yeah, because he runs podcasts.
Yeah.
Like in the podcasting world, a lot of people don't realize this. Kevin Smith's one of the pioneers. It's like we look at who started this shit. Well, Kevin Smith, Mark Maron, and
Adam Carolla.
Yeah, you can look at these three as really the guys who started podcasting.
Colt Cabana, actually, Art of Wrestling podcast. Too, was pretty big.
All these are. I mean, back when Kevin Smith was doing the Smodcast, that shit, it's like 12 years ago. And he was just talking, or more probably, yeah. I mean, I'm 40. I think everything was yesterday.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so there's a lot of jokes about the podcast, because now that's what he does instead of comic books, right? He talks shit.
Yeah.
He's basically Kevin Smith's comic book version when Kevin Smith wrote comics, which was nice. I would have liked to see, I mean, they got his podcast partner in that, I want to say it's Ron Garvey, and he plays a character that Jay and Silent Bob rob, I think, at the airport, right? But yeah, just Attack of the Cameos. We get finally to Chronic Con. We've probably missed a piece or two in there, but we get to Chronic Con, and this is where we have that third act normal thing, like the party is now going to break up, and are they going to stick together? They're at their
there's this part where they go. There's two pathways.
Yeah, it's stop the movie, make the movie,
or stop the movie from happening, or do something of becoming a father to your daughter that you've rediscovered.
And so he's like
you either gotta stop this reboot or decide to become a dad.
Yeah, put your own thing aside for your child. And so Jay kind of grows up in that half a second. That's his character arc, right? Is now I'm a dad, and now I've got this dad stuff, and it's a little out of place, like here and there, when he tries to throw dad logic at her, because you're like, you would never care. You would literally not care. I liked at Chronic Con when they had the big time weed distributor guys were like, hey, we used to buy weed from you. And they're like, what? We got some weed. Just $200, little man. Put that shit in my hand. I was like, okay, a little callback to Clerks, the first one. And he comes out, I mean, in the very beginning, he comes out with the fucking Buffalo Bill thing. And and it's a little homophobic. He doesn't got a dick. You're like, who cares if he got a dick? Yeah. He has a butt, right? Yeah. That's all I care about. Won't eat a butt, though. I'm too old. Yeah, at my age, when you eat the butt, like poop comes out, and you gotta put it back in somehow. You know, especially if you don't want to embarrass them. You can't just be like down there with the napkin and be like, that's body shaming.
But after you get to the finale, I mean, there's not too much to say directly about the finale, aside from it being inside baseball of...
Yeah, more joke. Here comes Kevin Smith out. He makes his, I smoke pot. I don't wear my jersey anymore. I'm a stand-up comic. I'm skinny as hell because I almost died from a heart attack. Like, all of his Kevin Smithisms are coming out on play. Yeah. And at the same time, like, I should put my daughter Harley Quinn in this somewhere. And you're like, haha, nod to the audience. She's in the fucking movie.
Who I do like. I do like Harley Quinn Smith.
Surprised. I mean, if you grow up being around actors so much and acting, you probably get a little better at it. Yeah. I think anybody can act. Honestly, probably. It is just learning the art of it.
Like the Safdie brothers are kind of proving that a little bit. They work with a lot of people who aren't actors and do a really good job with them. Kevin Garnett in Uncut Gems is fantastic.
And Good Times is good. You know, that one's like, how do I get my handicapped brother? We're gonna rob this bank. I'm like, no, do that. He's like, your brother's gonna give you up. He's handicapped. The movie's had a bad premise.
So what would you say, like, some overall things we can say about this?
Well, to finish off the film, let's get it all to the end. So it turns out the Asian lady is a latex-wearing super spy. And when she pops her shit out, she's pretty hot. And I'm like,
I actually even forgot about
she's the super spy, and it's just like, she's going to kill Kevin Smith.
My brain was turning off at certain parts of this movie.
And they stop her. I can't remember how to even stop her.
Probably cockknocker type thing.
Maybe. Fans or something. But they end up stopping her, save the day, and I don't remember if Jay ever reveals that he's the dad, but there's like the dialogue that's like, I'm pretty much your dad, you know, and she's like, yeah, I pretty much know. And you can get some a little bit emotional stuff here and there if you have a daughter of that age, maybe, you know. I'd say now that we've wrapped it up, you know, they don't stop the movie, but the movie comes out and they all hate it or something.
Yeah.
Because it's all like, oh, it's bullshit. Yeah. And it makes millions, like all of the Marvel movies do. So there's a lot of play at what does this mean outside of the context.
Yeah.
And if you're a big fan of it or know, like, even side drama with Kevin Smith and what's been going on with his life, you can catch those jokes.
Yeah.
And if you're a big movie fan, you catch like the jokes, like the Bourne Identity joke with Matt Damon, Batman Martha jokes with Ben Affleck.
And to me, it was those outside jokes that probably hit a little harder.
Yeah, I mean, when anybody's going to self-deprecate a little bit, in a good way, it comes off humble, and I like that kind of stuff. And so Matt Damon and Ben Affleck felt humble in their roles, whereas Kevin Smith seemed to be celebrating his, yeah, I could make fun of myself. I'm like, and it didn't feel genuine. So like, Silent Bob was to me better than Kevin Smith in the movie, because Kevin Smith just comes off like Kevin Smith, just this a little bit over cocky, arrogant kind of guy, who, I mean, that's what a lot of success will do to you over 20 plus years, but can be a turnoff. But they play on that he's an asshole in the movie, so And the ultimate result is the same movie they had before. There's no real family bonding because Jay and Silent Bob just go back to Jersey, right? Yeah, movie's over. And
now, so this movie definitely. Let's talk about what led to or not necessarily what led to, but what led to the financing?
Yeah.
And what type of project this is?
There's
this
this
isn't a
company,
traditional project.
Maybe it says they're on the wiki. Of course, you just turn off.
Yeah, just turn it off.
There's a company that just came out recently. I want to say it starts with the M, right?
Yeah.
But it's this fan-owned company.
Yeah.
And with the fan-owned company, that fans could pay $10 and own a piece of this company, and either GoFundMe or Indiegogo, one of those two. Not fun. I don't think it was Kickstarter.
It's a similar thing, but
this is a crowd-funded film.
Yeah.
This did not get. This is the fans paid for this, and you can see it because the fans got exactly what they were paying for.
Yeah.
This isn't a movie for someone who doesn't like Kevin Smith movies. If you didn't like Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, you will hate this movie because it's just callbacks to his career. It's a little egotistical.
So it's not even just watching it; you have to really retain that knowledge of stuff.
Yeah, if you don't know his his jokes with Chase and Amy, even that whole sequence fails, and it's only there to go, you can be a co-parent, which never comes up because the kid is too old to be co-parented at this point. She's literally going to college, I think, in the storyline.
Now, some of the Chasing Amy stuff, though, I think did hit with the self-depreciating of that's a problematic film, stuff.
Yeah, I mean, now you're like, oh, okay. It's like, all she needs is a deep dick. You're like, okay, well, she didn't. At least they acknowledge in the movie, like, I'm dicked a little bit, but I went back to that puss because there's nothing like a good vag. I don't know. Could have been more butt stuff in the movie. I say that about most movies.
So do you not think there was enough gross humor, maybe? Is that a way to put it? 'Cause I think maybe there wasn't too much gross out humor.
Yeah, the old
kind of older stuff.
It felt juvenile when it did it this time. I think it's because the character's just too old.
Poop handshake or anything.
Yeah, no poop demons, no weird, not a lot of body humor with body stuff, and that could be just him being a little bit more grown.
There was just the callback to the Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, which I didn't think played well, but you got Darnell Rawlings in the beginning as a cop, and I love anytime I can see comics pop up into the small roles because they'll bring something to that role because they're funny, and that's why they get them kind of roles. But it just came off way too out of time and a little homophobic. And for me to like, this movie was homophobic at the beginning, it didn't really turn it off for me because I am a fan of the overall world. They're the few askewers. But it was something that didn't start it off right for me. And if it wasn't, I think for the next scene, because I was a big Brody fan, if it wasn't for Jason Lee in that scene, I might have started getting like, okay, I don't like where this is going. But I'm not a big Marvel movie fan either. I mean, I like them, but I see what they are too. They're just bloated up. You get rid of Tony Stark and you never did Demon in a Bottle. You failed, Marvel. You failed, right? And so I like the DC jokes. I like the little jabs at Marvel here and there because that's what I do online, and to all these fanboys' chagrin.
And it really plays to that, you funded the movie, you're going to get every Kevin Smith thing you can get.
Even from the cartoon. You've got Leonardo jokes, that's the town they live in up there in Jersey. I think there's a callback to eating old burritos, getting them sick, which is a big plot line in the cartoon.
So one of the things that fails for me is that since it's crowdfunded, but it only has so much of a budget, you have to write it so that the budget could work with all these celebrities coming in. And when you're dealing with that type of budget, I think it hurts the project as a whole, and I think it hurt this film. Of just going scene to scene with this separate actor here, separate actress here.
Yeah.
In some ways, there is a through thread with a couple of actors, but it didn't feel great to me. I would have liked this movie with a bigger
loose.
budget, just straight up, just to allow people to come in and be part of any part of the movie that Kevin Smith would want to write.
Yeah.
You know, it gets rid of the idea of an ongoing gag in a lot of ways. If that, you know, the gag has to be tied to Silent Bob and has to be tied to Jay. And how many more gags can you write for those two in particular?
They've almost been written out. Like their big gag this time was that they've got 3 joints of the killerest weed ever. And I'm from Portland, so bring on your Jersey crap.
You know, but
I don't believe it was going to be so great that they had to do special times. And then it's even like, oh, let's give my daughter the cool weed. I'm like, there's the anti-dad in me, and this is supposed to be like a pro-dad kind of.
But you didn't have a thing like they could have, if there could have been an ongoing gag having to do with Elizabeth Hurley and Rosario Dawson, the budget gets in the way when you're writing. Of like, I don't
have
think
more Fred Armisen too.
Yeah.
And as someone's saying, like, I don't like him always. That was what was good about this movie. You get this Hitcher character, is that's what it could have been. This like little go-lucky guy that they fuck over in the movie, like pretty badly, and then he comes back for revenge at one point, just throwing nuggets at him, like that's his weapon. These KKK nuggets. I mean, that, and with comic structure or comedy structure, there should have been a third. There should have been a
threes,
three, and we only got 2 of Fred Armisen. Maybe there's a third one on the cutting room floor somewhere. But that's what I would have liked to see, is that foil. There's this road trip with Fred Armisen popping up all the time. Like, I would have loved to see him 9 times pop, like constantly being what pushes them to the next thing. You know, the bad weather that makes the kids go into the horror movie.
There you go.
That's what he should have been, and that would have pushed the whole movie. Because that, we gotta get away from this fucking, I want my $2.
Like, imagine the second time Harley needs to try and catch a pedophile.
It's Fred
Armisen, you know.
Like, you're a pedophile? Oh no, I just I'm looking for these guys. You know, they could have, you could have played with that. That could have been the story. Instead, it's the father angle, which I don't think pays off. You know, even though I like the concept of the dad who can reconnect with his daughter, it just doesn't pay off like it should. It ends up being a Jay and Silent Bob do Jay and Silent Bob stuff, and it's a little goofy here and there, but you're only going to really like this movie if you loved the other ones. And so, after some consideration, like the way I would grade this thing, and thinking a little bit more in this last hour, I'd say it's probably a C- film, which on the star scale would be 2 or 1.5 even.
Okay, that feels more right. Okay.
And then, but as far as a fan goes, this gives you exactly what you want. When you go into Jay and Silent Bob,
I still don't think it's perfect for a fan, because a bigger budget would have made it even more so.
Yeah, I mean,
and I don't think there was a way around that.
There could have been a couple things.
I don't think they could have found financing.
Mark Hamill, just having Mark Hamill do some kind of, I'm at ChronicCon as a thing, signing stuff. You could have threw in a couple more or funnier cameos, I think. You could have got rid of the entire daughter storyline, and the movie would be the same movie. In a lot of ways. So C- as far as it's by itself. If you're a big fan of the Skewiverse and you like Silent Bob and you love Jay and you like all that shit, probably a B+. Other than that, what do you think? I know that you're...
That's about it. I actually didn't have too much fun watching the film, because I usually judge a bad film by how could it be better. If I'm watching it, I'm like, if I can't get out of my head, how would this have been done better? And that was happening here, and I was like, this a lot.
It fondled my member berries. So to me, it fondled them hard enough to where I got a good steel erection off the movie, and that's what I look for in a straight up fanboy movie.
But one reason I wanted to do this video is because I know that Robert here is you really have ingested a lot of that media, usually more than me, but I might have seen the Clerks cartoon more, just because I feel like I've seen that cartoon 80 million times.
I probably played it a lot when he's couch surfing.
Tom Cruise, show me the money!
And I think it almost feels like a lot of the movie is set up punchline, which might work for a comic, and that's basically what Kevin Smith does now. He is a stand-up comedian and a speaker more than a filmmaker per se, and I think the script seems like that. It doesn't feel like a movie script as much as it feels like almost a stage show, a lot of the dialogue.
And
that was an old Kevin Smith thing I loved, was the dialogue, and that doesn't seem to be here.
And the bad thing, or the good thing to me, and it's bad to say, is I'm glad this project is behind him, so that he can get on to the next one, because I feel like if he does a Clerks 3, that'll probably be better. And if he does something like Moose Jaws or something closer to horror or horror comedy, that to me is what I've been latching on to.
I think that should be his new angle. I
know
haven't seen Yoga Hosers.
Yoga Hosers, a lot of people hate it, and I'm wondering what you think about it. Most people hate it. I do like it. And I like.
Yeah, I'll check it out one of these days. It's one of those movies that just kept.
But I love Tusks.
I just kept missing it.
I love Red State. That first half of Red State with, them going to kill the kids, is phenomenal. You cannot build tension that good, practically.
That's a really good, tight horror movie. It's a little preachy in some parts, but like I think he could took Red State out of it and made it more about this creepy Bible people that were in the Bible State.
I thought this would be a good video to get a little bit more insight. So I'm hoping that other people who are Kevin Smith fans do watch this, just to say, oh, maybe I kind of missed that little thing, or maybe you just get the member berries of having us talk about it.
And if you want a perfect opening for Clerks 3, Kevin Smith, here's what you do.
Okay.
Jay and Silent Bob out front of the
Should we end with this?
Yeah, we can end with this. Jay and Silent Bob out front of the Quick Stop. He's doing his little do, right? Boom! Cars fucking takes him out. Boom! Boom! And it could be the dude, I'm not even supposed to bear today! And that should be the fucking opening. Get rid of all three of them characters right at the beginning. Like, he's in jail. Yeah, Randall's gotta, run the whole place, because Randall's the most interesting character in Clerks. He's gotta run the whole fucking place by himself, which will fail, and that would be Clerks 3. I don't care about movies. I don't care about Dante and his baby. Get all three of them characters out of the fucking movie first scene, and you'll invest the entire. Invest all of us.
That's a really good punchline for it too. I'm not even supposed to be here.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to be here today.
Okay. Well, thank you for watching. I'm glad that we have a video with both of us up again.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
the next time that'll happen. Haha, more inside baseball.
Maybe like getting tired of the background, so I might put up a new background here.
Don't flop it out. I mean, X-Men Part 12, apparently is a pretty funny movie. So I can't wait to see how Professor X gets the rest of the kids back to his school.
By the way, this is totally the new what the New Mutants wanted to be was Dr. Sleep.
Yeah.
It's the evil people who have superpowers, and it's a horror movie.
Yeah. If New Mutants ever comes out, we'll do a video on it. I promise.
All right.
Rob C. Gresham.
Leo Priest.
Yeah. Don't let spoilers ruin your life.